Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Black Talk Show. I have Sabine, is it Sabine or Sabina?
No, yes, that's okay.
Here with Circle Cook Upcycling. She does recycle plastic to plastic, and you do bags. You make bags and you do art, right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
Welcome to the show.
Kia ora, as we say here in the Cook Islands.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Just tell us a brief overview.
Not a problem at all. So I'm living in the Cook Islands probably for 17 to 18 years. And I had a dive center over there for 16 years. And then COVID hit and we lost our business. So I had to come up with the other idea. And I started creating bags and accessories out of trash in 2014. So it's quite a while already. Mm-hmm. And it's when I began to become like an artist. I started to make little bags and all the thoughts. And nowadays I do this full time. So it's a very different way of living, but I really like it.
You really like it? Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us why you started doing it?
That was actually kind of an accident. In 2014, a friend of mine, she came on holiday and she did a little weaving course with another friend. And then she came home to me and said, "Oh, give me all your rubbish." And I said, "What do you want my rubbish for?" "Yeah, I want to make a little bag out of it." So she basically taught me the very, very beginnings of weaving rubbish or plastic into little strips and then a bag. And I never stopped. I totally got hooked because I've got a little bit of arthritis. And in the morning, it's really good to get your hands going. And so I basically taught after the beginning everything by myself. And I started to get bigger creations and other bags, and everyone just absolutely loved it. And I couldn't stop doing that. And then people started to bring me even more different materials. And
so that's how you came up with it. That was like the first. How did you come up with the idea of using it, discarded waste plastic, to create the handbags and accessories? So how did you come up with the creation for the handbags and accessories?
Yes, the weaving itself, for the first couple of years, I only made the little bags. I have, for example, something like this small one over here, or this is a little like a clutch bag. Oops, not easy to see. And so that was what I was doing. So I didn't see myself as an artist or as a big creator. It was just like a hobby for me. Yeah. But it became so much more, and I really enjoyed creating things. And what I always have done is I never make a bag twice. So all my bags are very unique. And then the people start buying them. And then I got more recognition. I had news articles. I had so many different mentions. And then I had my first art exhibition in our gallery, and took me a while to get the pieces ready for this, but we sold 2/3 of all my bags on the same on one evening.
That was that was good. Yeah. Can you tell us about the weaving techniques you use, and have you developed over the years to work with the plastic waste?
Yeah, because plastic is not that easy to work with. So I had to first of all learn how to work with it. And oh, sorry, hopefully you can't hear the dogs in the back. So there's so many different ways of or different materials you've got. Like, for example, if you use milk powder bags, they are very strong. It's like aluminum strips, so it's very durable, very strong. Then you have things like coffee sachets. They are even as well very strong, so it's really nice to work with that. Or you have a little bit softer materials, which is like chip packets, ice cream packets, all this sorts of stuff you can use. You can actually use anything for that.
Okay.
And depending on what the customer wants, or actually what material we have in the Rarotonga, because if you tell me I want a pink bag, the customer had this, and they said, we don't have pink rubbish on the island. So how am I supposed to make a pink bag? I can only make what's available, because it's not the point of shipping the rubbish to Rarotonga. It's the point of getting the rubbish off Rarotonga.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and I've got new ideas, and over the years I just came up with different designs, square, round, all the sorts. And my biggest problem was always the handles, because the handles, which the zigzag weave I do, they weren't really comfortable. But then after a while, I found a way of doing straight lines. And if you want, you can have a look always on my homepage. There you can see a little bit of different varieties of bags I make, because I don't have a lot here with me at the moment. So
okay.
Can
How do you ensure the plastic waste you're using for creation is properly sourced and prepared?
That's pretty easy, because I'm a kind of one man or one lady show. So I'm working alone. So most what the people bring me, we have a community board in our island. So I usually post updates there, and then the hotels and the private people, when they have anything, they collect their plastic or even the other materials I use, like popped inflatables. If an inflatable pops, they clean it. It has to be very, very clean. Otherwise, I can't use it. And then they bring it to me, and then I'll see what I can make out of it. So it has to be very clean. And then once cleaned, it's sorted. And then sometimes goes into the drawer if I don't know what to make out of it. But
okay. So what your passion for doing this? What inspired you to make the accessories and stuff? So you have a passion for doing this, making creations. Now you didn't have it at first. So what is the what made you decide to make fashion? Mix the fashion with your environmental concerns.
For me, as owner of a dive center, I was always like environmental concern. So I started very, very early in the years we lived in Rarotonga to become a member of the Te Pakarea Society, which is a non-government organization, a little bit watchdog for our government. And I became the chair of the waste management. So waste was always very close to my heart. So I organized cleanup days. We went to schools, taught the kids how to do this. And when I started to then combine my plastic and rubbish into my bags, that really fit into very well, because our landfill is chock-a-full. Probably like in other countries and other places in the world the same. So we have a big problem with our landfill and plastic and single-use plastic, and with a throwaway community that everyone just throws stuff away and buys some new things instead of reusing it or being conscious about what they use and what they buy or refill. So fortunately, I still have a lot of materials what the people bring to me, but hopefully at one stage the people will be a little bit more conscious and start to reuse their own materials, but I'll still have enough.
Okay. So have you faced any challenges or resistance in promoting your work and your spreading awareness about the plastic pollution?
Yeah, I did actually. So it's the lack of awareness, for example. People normally are not fully aware what plastic pollution can actually do to our environment. And especially the older generations, they have had really big problems to learn, and they know their ways. And that's why I focus on children, because for us, the children are the future. We give them their environment right now, but they have to live in it and they have to prepare for their future. Yes. And my little sentence, what I always say is, I can't change the world, but I can make it a tiny little bit better. And this
Yes.
is what I try to teach the kids, because if they are aware that they shouldn't throw away a plastic bottle, or in first instance should use a reusable plastic bottle, a plastic bottle, that makes it so much easier. Huh? So encouraging even not just the kids, but everyone, the individuals, to adopt recycling practices and make sustainable choices. That is very important, but not easy, because I'm pretty sure you have the same problem in the
Yes.
States.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just take a bottle and throw it away.
Yeah.
The plastic industries, like we had a big issue in Australia, where the government, I think, if I get this right, the government put a law in place to stop the single-use plastic bottles, and they got sued by Coca-Cola.
Oh.
I'm allowed to say that, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
because Coca-Cola didn't want to lose their plastic bottles, and they actually won.
Okay.
That is that.
Yeah. So what kind of attention do you have you pay to the details of the work with your plastic for your handbags and accessories?
That goes very, very small attention to details. For example, it changed a little bit the way I shop when I go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Nice plastic, I rather tend to buy that than the plain one.
Okay.
And yeah, depending, I get very creative, and because every bag is unique and only a one-time bag, you collect. I had, for example, I started to collect All Blacks from New Zealand, the rugby players, bags or plastic for them. A couple of years back, probably 6 or 7 years or even longer back. And when I had my art exhibition, the gallery owner always said, I want this All Blacks bag. And I started to make it, but it wasn't right. So until today, I still haven't finished this bag because it's not right. I can't really explain why, but when I make it bag, I got an idea, I start, and then the bag evolves in it. And then sometimes it finished differently than I anticipated in the beginning, but that's the way how I work. So if you would order a bag from me, would probably say to you, tell me your favorite color and what kind of shoulder bag, or what would you like, but that's how far it goes, and then the rest you need to let me do it.
Okay.
When it comes to the other materials I use, like for example popped inflatables, I do have here this one, if you guys can see this a little bit, not really.
Yeah, right there.
So that was an inflated turtle, a swimming pool toy. And I made a backpack out of it. Or I made water bottle carriers like these guys here, so you can go with your dog. And this is all made out of plastic. This plastic actually I found on the beach. The black plastic is from a ride-on bowl. So I get this from our community, and then I use to make a special creation with it. And it's very rewarding.
So the color you add, the color and the design and all that, is that how that works?
Yeah, I do, like, for example, if you have clear plastic, you can put something in the bag and then you can change the colors. But for example, pink pool toys are quite common, so that's kind of good color to find. Pool toys, not that often to find, but or real animals like the turtle I just had. That's really cool, because you can work with the eyes and you can make beautiful shoulder bags out of it. It's a lot of fun. But for every bag I create new, I do like a fabric bag first, just to see where the problems are, because once you cut plastic, it's done.
Okay.
So if I do cut it wrong, then I might not be able to use it.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So is there so on your handbags, I like the designs on that. So do you just come up, so each bag is different each time. So do you come up with the idea of how it's going to be designed yourself based on what your customer tell you, like what colors they like? How do you come up with the design? Is that something you're creative, your artistic?
Yes, oh, that's one point. The color choice, which the customers like, yes, but on the other hand, you have to collect. If you have, for example, like a bag like this is made out of coffee sachets. And in this or in this bag alone are around 120 pieces. So you have to at first 120 pieces, and then you can start to do your design, and then you see, okay, do I have enough to make a V, for example?
Okay.
Or with this one here, this is the old from Nescafe, the old colors, the green ones, and that's the old one too. So you only have what you've got. So if the new, like for example, we have Nescafe got a new colors or the new kind of packaging, which was great for me because I ran kind of out of design ideas because you can only make so many patterns out of the same packages. But of these coffee sachets, I have around 4,500 at home.
Okay.
And that takes a long time because you have to cut them open first, clean them, cut them to template. Then they are folded, then they are woven together, then they are combined, and then they are hand stitched together. So it's a pretty, yeah.
How long it takes you to do it? One bag?
That's I always get this asked, but that's very hard to say. I had a bag which took me 6 months to make.
Okay.
Because every single piece, like these here, for example, these little pieces are sellotaped onto a template. So you have to position them. And this one, for example, my sister sends me every year a package from Germany. And all the packaging she sent me, like from licorice, whatever you can even think of, I actually collected and made this bag out of that.
Okay.
And sent it back to Germany.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it off the island.
Okay. All right. That's cool. What advice would you give individuals in your community or in the world who wants to reduce the plastic usage and contribute to the environmental sustainability, but not tap into what you're doing though? So
I just thought of the idea to actually teach what I'm doing. So that's a little bit of a new thing, what I'm going to make in the future. But for us, it's very important. And our government starts to really think about this kind of stuff too, which is great in a small island or Pacific island nation. So it's about regenerative tourism, for example, so that the people who come to us and enjoy our island, that they want to have a very slow impact. So they want to learn about how to reduce the carbon footprint, how to don't bring plastic in or rubbish in, reduce the plastic, or use reusable items like the hotels. They can use the shower gel or the shampoo in refill packaging, not just single-use packages. So this is a very important thing. When you buy water, go to a filling station and bring your water containers. That is a good thing. Recycle properly. So I'm not sure how is the recycling in the States. Is that really advanced?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know exact details, but yeah, they do recycling here.
So we start already a little bit. So for us, we separate tin cans, plastic bottles, general waste, paper waste. So this is already quite good. But I would encourage everyone to just start in the little and do as much as you can. When you go shopping, very important is when you go shopping for clothes, rather go to a second-hand shop, for example, and see what's over there. Because can you imagine we have 2 million tons of clothing and fabric rubbish every year. We produce this every year, and that ends up in our landfills, in the oceans. It's so much. And even my fabric, the fabrics I use, they are reused from our local designers. So they give me their offcuts, and I use them for my bags. Like, you see this kind of things.
Okay.
So all stuff which would usually go to the landfill, but we don't do this, or we reuse things, or we come up with other ideas of using stuff before we go and throw it to the landfill. And support, another thing is support ban and regulations. Like we are hoping, or the Teopocaria Society, we try to implement a proposal for an advanced disposal fee. I'm pretty sure you've got this already in place in the States. That means if you import something, there's a little bit of a fee on it, and that makes sure that it can get recycled when it's at the end of the life. Like
okay.
And we try to get this into place, and yet now after 10 years, cross the fingers, we hope that it will be in place maybe beginning of next year. So it takes time, but everyone, your neighbor, everyone can do a little bit, and or picking up one piece of rubbish, or thinking before you buy something, organizing cleanup days, everything helps. And lots of people say, oh, I can't change it, I can't do anything. No, that would not help. But that's not true. Every single piece is going to help. And if everyone would pick up one piece of trash every day, we would have a pretty clean
yeah. So you also do cloth bags as well. So
yes,
that's one you showed just a while ago. You do cloth bags. So that's recycling from clothing and
yes,
fabrics and stuff like that.
yes.
Okay.
Or like, for example, our local upholstery. So they have waterproof canvas, and they give me the little offcuts, and I bolt them together. So the thing is, from why my bags take so long, because I don't have a big piece of fabric which I can use as a lining. I have to have the small little pieces which I have to sew together, ironing down, put the next piece on, and then it takes me maybe a day to get a very big piece where it then can start to make a bag out of it.
Okay.
So, but I try to use as much discarded material as possible. I can't use everything because my bags are quite high priced. And you have, for example, the zipper and the zipper poles, that has to be really good quality. So I source this, of course, overseas. And because you can't really reuse them, and especially in the climate where I am, with all the salt water, that once you have a bag which the zippers don't work anymore, and if the people throw it away, I can use the material like the leather or the plastic, but the zipper and the zipper pulls is usually you can't really upcycle them most of them.
Okay. So I'm liking the colors in your bags. I think that's cute because it's different. So yeah, I like that. That's very colorful. I like that. So
that was Australian potato chips.
So what styles of bags do you make? You do clutch, you do handbags, you do backpacks. Is that?
I do shoulder bags. I do. I just had my very first. Normally, I because I just learned 3 years ago sewing, so I had to teach everything by myself or for myself. And I just finished a laptop case because on my trip to Germany, I really wanted to have my laptop and iPad and everything with me. But so I came up with my own design, and I made it out of an inflatable. And I used bike inner tubes as well, but the back got really heavy. So that's still at home. So I had the other one made. So I do make what the people want me to. So normally they see something and they say, oh, can you do this? Or can you do that? Or if you have, for example, a man wears different bags as women. So, and I love the challenge. So there's nothing what I can't try.
Can't you? Okay,
It
yeah.
might take a little bit longer, but I love new things and new bags and water bottle carriers and little evening bags, clutch bags. Whatever you've got, I'm happy to make. Or out of the bike inner tubes, I make a lot of jewelry, like bracelets. So these guys are made out of, it's probably very hard to see,
Yeah.
out of bike inner tubes.
Okay.
And little shells and little stone chips.
Uh-huh.
And I make earrings out of that, or like this one here.
Okay.
Kind of stuff.
Do you make sets?
Sets, yes. I've done this especially during COVID. We did a lot of with face masks and bags and earrings together. So all matching. That was
okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's gone.
So how do they how do they purchase bags for you or the jewelry, and how do they see it? Like, do they like what you have already? You have an inventory now, or it's all specifically made when someone order?
That's a very good question. I do have a webpage, circlecobalance.com, where you can see it's just in the beginning of building it up, so it's not perfect yet. And so you can buy in the shop some of the stuff which is available, or you can have a look and look at through the photos and say, I would like, and then you can tell me, I would like to have this kind of, or mostly the people get in touch with me through Instagram. And so I sell worldwide. I sell to the States. I have lots of customers in the States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, as well Europe. But Europe, to be honest, the shipping is quite difficult because it takes a long time. And you never know if it really works or not. So, but mostly what the people do is they get in touch with me through either my homepage or to Instagram. And then I can show them what I have or what I have made in the past. And then they can say, okay, this is what I would like. Or they see on Instagram a bag I just posted or made a new one, and they say, boom, I want that one. But mostly of my stuff is already sold before it actually hits social media. Because people, they buy, if they, for example, order a water bottle carrier, then I make maybe 3 or 4, and then people see this while I'm making them, and then they are sold. But I work, it works quite well to go by order, so the people can see what I have made in the future, or in the past, and then I can tell them what I have available. And there's always some new designs in the making.
Yeah, okay. What impact do you hope to achieve by doing through this? What are you doing? Like the plastic, the making the bags and the jewelry and the environmental thing, safety. What are you hoping to do through doing all this?
I hope to reach a wider audience, to bring out the message that even if something is not for any normal use anymore, you can still give them a new life before it actually goes into the landfill. I like to change the way of people thinking of stuff they buy or they purchase, and so they can give old stuff a new life and a new life in the whole circle. And I like to change the whole idea of people throwing everything away, buying a t-shirt that costs $5 and it's got a lot of plastic in it, and it's worn 3 times and then it's thrown in the rubbish. Rather go somewhere and buy something which is it's a company which has eco-sustainable practices, which use materials which are recycled. It might cost a little bit more, but that's what it should be, and that's what I like to people to encourage. And when you help people to think about it, then they might teach others to do the same. And then you have a snowball. What's this called? Like the snowball effect.
Snowball effect, yeah, okay.
And
So
then it's applied by many people.
okay. Do you have any closing remarks you would like to tell the guests or the people that's watching right now? And also, what is your bodacious, the name of my tagline for my show is Bodacious Dreams with Radical Faith. What is your bodacious dream for what you're doing now and with Radical Faith or in the future?
I think that everyone should praise the Lord and give their thoughts to him and believe in that we still have a chance to do something, even that it's 10 past 12 or maybe even 15 past 12. But if we all give up and don't believe in anything, then it's everyone has lost already.
Yeah.
But for us, we need to believe in something. We need to believe that we can change the world and we can make a difference. Look at Greta. Greta changed the world. And I might be not as popular as Greta, but a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm happy to, for anyone who has question or who wants to start like this kind of initiative in their little island, because we have a lot of Pacific islands who don't have a lot of income streams. And I'm always helping, like for example, with my woven technique in 21, I won an International Energy Globe Award.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
There is a possibility, even with a small business like mine, to enroll and to go somewhere and to inspire people to want to make a change. And because I think with my life and here on Earth, I want to do a little bit. I don't just want to go one day and nobody would have seen that I made an impact.
Yes, you want to make an impact. Yes, that's great. That's great. So in closing, so what do you tell people that's actually looking to purchase from you? How do they start doing the same thing? Like you're going to teach a class on this, doing this kind of plastic weaving, the accessories, the handbags, in the future, or
in the future? Yes,
in the future. Okay.
The plan. What I'm just really wanted to go online because most of the people can't come to me in Rarotonga. We are setting up like a tour for people who come to the island. They can come to my shop and they learn how to make earrings, for example, out of bike inner tubes. So they can actually learn this with me on site in my studio. But for everyone who can't be there and all over the world, this is my belief that this is the way to go to share my knowledge, to share what I know, so that maybe someone else is able to take into the same little business and make some little bit money out of it, or even just made a beautiful present for themselves. So just something where you can have a lot of fun of and a lot of joy to go with your unique pieces. And this is very important. And if you do this with children especially, that's amazing. So I teach a lot of children in our islands. So but it takes passion, it takes commitment, because it's not done in 2 hours. So if you want to start this, it takes a while, but otherwise the courses, hopefully they are in a very beginning now, but give me a couple of months and I hope that I can come up with some courses. But otherwise, until then, they are happy to contact me on Instagram, Circle Cook Islands, and tell me what they want, and I'm happy to make them some stuff.
Okay, well, I thank you for coming on the show. If you have you want to come back on at any time, you're welcome. And
thank you very much for having me.
Yes, I enjoyed our conversation and learned a lot as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Tina.
You're welcome.
Kia manuia.